I'm actually in a place called Naramata, which is in British Columbia in Canada, and I'm actually here visiting my sister Julie and her husband John, and I'm here with Andrew, my husband, who you will have seen on other videos. And we're just having a wonderful time here. This is the last part of our summer tour that we're doing, and if you want to know any more about that, go back and watch my video where I've been, because I talk a little bit about what's happening in our lives there. So, getting back to the subject of this video, which is all about, does weightlifting cause women over 40 to have a pelvic organ prolapse? And that was the question. Today's question was made on a video where I talk about having pelvic organ prolapse surgery. And this isn't something I've talked a great deal about on my channel, because it seems to be a topic associated with shame and embarrassment, but it's a common condition. So I've decided it's time to get talking and remove the shame and fear associated with this. When we understand why it may happen, we can cancel self-blame and feel confident again. Pop any questions you may have about my experience into the comments below, and I will do another question and answer video to answer anything specific that you want to know. Knowledge is power. I have a question. Does weightlifting for women over 40 cause pelvic organ prolapse? And it's a question I had myself when I was diagnosed last year. And my answer is, it depends on you. Do you have weak pelvic floor muscles? Do you know how to lift safely? And do you understand about intra-abdominal pressure? So my answer is based on my own experience and the knowledge I gained from my surgeon and my pelvic floor physio during my pre and post-op care. So what I learned was that if we already have weakened pelvic floor muscles, anything that increases intra-abdominal pressure can cause pelvic organ prolapse. But why would we have weak pelvic floor muscles anyway? So my surgeon told me that anyone who has a baby has weakened their pelvic floor to some degree, and most women will have some form of prolapse. But a lot of women never have symptoms and aren't even aware of it. And I don't know about you, but this was not something I was ever told when I had children. Maybe it's different now. So this is a letter my surgeon sent to me following my consultation, and in it she wrote, "You are so fit that I can't tell you off for anything, like improving your lifestyle, i.e. smoking, alcohol, losing weight, chronic cough or steroids." So I started looking into how lifestyle can contribute, and I discovered that you don't have to have a baby to be at risk. It can happen to women who've never been pregnant, never had a baby, pointing to other influences such as posture, lifestyle, hormones, aging. So I learned that a weak pelvic floor can be genetic. If you have weak tissues, you are more vulnerable. Getting older and going through the menopause, being overweight, having a chronic cough, having prolonged constipation, very high impact exercise or prolonged heavy lifting, all these things can have an effect and weaken your pelvic floor muscles. So I've learned it's all about how you do something, not what you do when lifting weights in the gym or lifting in your everyday life. So I just need to explain, I had to move because we were on this beautiful cycle trail and I'm getting a lot of people riding past and stopping at the viewpoint that we were at. If I was doing any other video, it may have been okay to just stay there, but the subject that I'm talking about, I felt, let's move. So I've come to somewhere a little bit quieter. And so let's just talk a little bit more about lifting weights, whether that's in the gym or in your own life. So lifting your shopping bags, lifting your children or grandchildren, lifting a heavy suitcase when you're going on holiday, lifting furniture, or if you have a job which involves lifting. Anytime you lift something, the easiest way for your body to find strength is to bear down. So we need to understand, we need to learn when we're bearing down, and we need to understand how we can stop that happening, how we can protect our pelvic floor and not be putting down too much pressure onto it. So we want to learn to lift correctly and to protect our pelvic floor. Yet it's not something I've ever heard a personal trainer talk about. And I think that's why women can be quite vulnerable, because nobody ever helps you to understand that one muscle which we need to really think about when we're in the gym is our pelvic floor. So I know now that there's no unsafe exercise in the gym for women. It's just about unsafe technique. I will just share that the first thing I learned about regulating core pressure is to learn to breathe properly. And the simplest advice when you lift something is to not hold your breath and to exhale on the exertion. It is so important to remember that while we need to manage this pressure when we're lifting weights in the gym, we need to carry that over into our everyday life too. And I actually find, because I'm very mindful now when I'm training of protecting my pelvic floor, I'm really conscious of it when I'm in the gym, but I sometimes forget just in my everyday life. So in fact, I find just trying to live normal life is actually harder for keeping my pelvic floor safe than when I'm in the gym. So I invested in a brilliant pelvic floor course by Dr. Duvall of Core Exercise Solutions, and I highly recommend this course for anyone who needs help learning to understand more about your pelvic floor muscles and also about how to look after them and how to understand better about the way your body works. I now understand my body so much better than I did before. So Sarah does have some free YouTube videos about this if you want to go and check her out first, and also a great Instagram account. So I will put some links in the description. So that's the end of this video. I'm Ray from Live Yourself Young. Thanks for joining me today in this beautiful part of the world. I hope you found my answer to the question helpful, and I will be back soon with more answers to questions. So do like the video if you liked it, do subscribe, and in the meantime keep living yourself young.